One of the most important self-development habits that you've probably heard of but dismissed because it's said so often, it kind of loses its value. But I want to change that for you today if you're willing to stick around for just a second. So a quick personal story. It's the very first time I was doing coaching, I was doing ADHD coaching. One of the problems with ADHD is, you're just trying to get certain focus elements in place, so they'll give you little tips and tricks. One of them was steno notebooks. Problem for me is I got a big pack of these things, and what they look like is this. They got lines on it, they're kind of shorthand, which is cool. I could see where they could be valuable, but the problem with these is like I would have, pages fall out, and you just kind of forget where you're even at and lose the value of what it means. It might as well have just been kind of like a little coaster notebook, right? Where you put your cup on it. But the value of writing things down in the right way can absolutely be game changing for you, okay? I don't know if you've ever had that experience where you find, you're like going to clean out like your drawers and you find like an old note. It's really like kind of like a time capsule. But the thing with these notes or old notebooks and little scraps of paper here and there that we find, that we've like kind of written down things, they're sometimes can leave clues. And even better yet is when it's intentional. Think about your yearbook now, right? From high school or from middle school and so on. You probably still hold on to those. You've kind of carried those through your life, and maybe you don't look at those very often. One of the things that you could do in that is open it up and kind of see some of the notes, maybe if you've had a chance for a couple of friends to sign them. So the whole point with this is, what if we can make our own yearbook or time capsule, but in a way that it's organized and you're not going to lose it, you're not going to forget it. And not only that, but there's going to be a little bit of structure to it so it makes sense for you. So this is a hardcover book. It's about the size of a yearbook. You could get these off Amazon. They're like 15 bucks. These are just fully blank pages, okay? And that's important because one of my friends, his name is Dalton, I remember like he was really about doing good notes and journaling, and he's like, no, you can't just have lines. It reminds you of school. Like I said, it just means like cheap paper. It doesn't hold much value, but when you have like this really nice blank canvas, well, it's kind of like you can use this for whatever you want, whether you're kind of writing out little diagrams or graphs, or maybe you just want to draw or sketch important, meaningful notes to you. So what I want to quickly show you is when you usually get something like this, it's still overwhelming. It's just a bunch of blank pages. You may be taking notes on your side hustle one day, school notes, or you're trying to just kind of get your thoughts in your head all out on paper. And so you're going from one page to the other and you're like, man, we're kind of in the same problem as the steno notebook, right? So this is what I wanted to change and show how this can be helpful for you. So step one is to go to the bottom of this. You want to change this out every year. Now that's not an excuse to not do one in 2023. What I'm saying is still write 2023 because you might have a lot of content to uncover, but if there's still some pages left, go ahead and get another one of these, right? And then you'll have one for 2024. You can do whatever the heck you want to do with your journal. What I'm showing you here is just kind of a guide that was taught to me. But what I want to go into next is how is it that we can add some structure so that we can organize everything that's going on for you right in one book that you'll take everywhere. That's why we're doing the hardcover, is so that it's high quality, it's going to travel with you. And then that way when you have those kind of random insights, or maybe you're just kind of feeling like just really emotional and you just want to get some stuff out, right? Maybe you're kind of looking into your past. This is so unbelievably helpful. The big value of why you want to do this now, start developing this sooner rather than later, is because over time, so maybe in the first year you might not see too much crazy results, but it's still, I personally have. But 2024, 2025, and so on, right? We're looking over 5 years, 10 years, and so, going forward, you will look through these and know exactly why and where you're at, right? You'll know exactly why you are in the place that you are at, and what you were going through. And so you could kind of look back and probably see all the changes in your life that you made and the things that you were into. And it's so unbelievable. Like, I wish I could stress this enough, because when people just say, oh, journaling, go journal, you know, it really loses that value of how powerful it is. And I can say the same thing for a lot of other things in our life, right? Like, oh, diet and exercise. Oh, you know, yeah, a lot of us know, but we don't know. Okay. So anyways, let's kick this off. You're going to put your name at the bottom, and just put the year, 2023. So maybe this will be the one that I use for next year. Okay. So, and you can get fun with this. Like, if you want to get really kind of colorful and artistic with it, have at it. Right? So something like that, if I was doing this for next year. But like I said, if you're not currently doing this, I would do, say like, your name 2023, and just kind of start this now, because you still have a lot of time left, actually. Don't hold back. I have filled up so much of my journal just in the first few months, because there's so many ahas and, you know, light bulb moments I've had as I've been kind of working on things. So once you have the section, once you have your name in the year this is, because this is how you're going to look back on this, what I want you to do is just open up and leave the first 2 pages alone, the front cover and the first page, and then just turn a page there, okay? And what you're going to do is right in the corner, you are going to fold a little corner back, okay? So that's going to be your first section. But we're going to come back to this in a second, because what I really want you to do is just divide this, just get a feel for it. You don't have to count it out or anything like that, but just kind of get a feel, and then just split that in half, okay? And the reason why we're doing this is because it's how it's taught to me. It's called the 6-in-1 journal. It's from Clark Kegley. If you're watching my video, you've already seen a lot of his videos. He has a lot deeper dive than I'm about to do. He has way more content that's going to be really helpful. So what we're doing is you split it in half, okay? And then what you can do, if you want to do the 6-in-1 journal method, then it's very simple. You're just going to basically divide 1/2 of this in 2/3. And then so you'll fold one page right here, kind of get a good feel for a third, and then you can kind of do this again like that, okay? And then so now we have our thirds, and then you just fold the corner back. So do the same thing on the other side, and then what you're going to be left with is 6 sections. Like I said, if you want more than that, then maybe divide them into 4 each side, so then you have 8 sections total, whatever works for you. But the reason why we're doing sections is because on the front here, you might put, you know, just write, just like this. Let's just say you are really focused on, you know, or for me, right? I'm starting YouTube, and that's clearly a big focus for me. So I'm gonna have a YouTube section, and maybe I put that in. I don't have red, but I got pink. That's gonna work. So here, let's take a look at this here. So I'm just gonna go in on my front page here with the corner, and I'm just gonna call it YouTube. And then maybe I write, this could be all about like my planning and statistics and growth, and maybe this is, and you can write all this stuff underneath, right? So not everyone's doing YouTube and TikTok. And so whatever that may be for you, and actually for a first section, what I recommend is just a general student section, meaning that like when you're learning about anything, really, like whether you're taking videos from YouTube or classes that you're in, or maybe you have some online courses that you're working through, books that you've been reading, or audiobooks that you've been listening to, or people even, right? So that can be a powerful option to do kind of for your first section, but it doesn't have to be. Once again, there's no rules here. Maybe you're really into art or music, right? And that's just something that you have a lot of focus on, or software development, or maybe you're going to school, you know, for nursing, whatever it may be. Okay, there's so many different things, and this is why it works for everybody. But what you might think now for other sections is not you just want to fill up your sections with a bunch of hobbies and such. What you might do for like a second section now is maybe this is when you write for a family section, right? Another core area of life. So what does that look like? Or family and friends. Now you have a place to maybe write about kind of family goals and maybe what it's like to be a mother or father, or brother or sister, right? Whatever it may be. Maybe pets, right? It could be anything on that kind of regard, and make it whatever it is that you want. But I'm just throwing out ideas because I kind of needed that when I very first started this myself. So another section, that you could do is that I did myself was gratitude. I was really trying to focus on give gratitude to people, and I want to give you a quick kind of cool thing that you'll find when you do a gratitude section. For me, I just kind of write people's names or events or little tokens of gestures where I was just really thankful for certain things in my life or lessons that I've learned. And when you write it down for people throughout the year, you actually have really cool things to say to people for like in their birthday card or for just kind of like an anniversary or whatever it may be. Father's Day, Mother's Day. You'll feel so much better and happier about life through the lens of gratitude, I found. Another section that might be really interesting. So I did one for shadow work, and I know that maybe if you're watching this, might not know what that is. Basically, it's just diving into yourself and asking yourself some tough questions, and maybe like looking through the lens of maybe the person, a younger version of you. You're asking it questions, what was going on in my life? Maybe you're kind of struggling with certain issues or traumatic events that you might not even realize. Or maybe you're getting over like an ex and you want to just ask them questions in your mind. Really, a lot of us have our own intuition, or our own mind really has a lot of the answers. And it can also put things into perspective where we can forgive people or forgive ourselves for kind of things that have happened in our past. And so it's really powerful. But sometimes it's just also those things that you have a really deep dream or a lucid dream about. You're just kind of laying there and you're kind of having this internal dialogue, of what's going on in your life. That I kind of see as shadow work in itself, or like a really deep meditation. Maybe that's kind of what it is. It's just something of a mind section, meditation, shadow work, whatever it may be, okay? Some other quick ones that are really easy maybe, or kind of useful for a lot of people, a little bit more broad, would be like just like a business section. I know I talked about like the YouTube side, but if you genuinely like have a business, maybe you want to kind of write out like your business plan in there, or just kind of general notes of business ideas that you have. One of the other ones that's really, really useful is just an anything section. It's kind of like where you can put just your brain dumps or little like things that kind of don't have a place anywhere else. It's kind of like the miscellaneous drawer that we all have. An anything section can really give you the freedom to still put things down, so it doesn't, things that don't belong, well, that's exactly where they're supposed to go. And now it's just containerized to like one section rather than kind of spread out across the whole journal. And one of the things I was also taught was on these first pages, this is a really cool place to kind of just take your maybe top 1% lessons or quotes or diagrams that mean a lot to you. Feel free to have fun with it. Draw some pictures in there if you're an artist or aspiring artist, or just like to make crappy doodles like me. It's a fun place to let yourself kind of do whatever you want. One time in the shadow work section, I had a really deep kind of visualization of like this entity in chains and such like that, and I drew it all out because I just felt like I had to. I just wanted to remember that visualization. When you have the time, you have the time, and when you don't, you don't. Try to, I just say try to have some conscious effort of, oh yeah, like when you're going about your day, that would be a really good thing to write about in my journal. Or hey, it's been a while since I've written in my journal, it'd be kind of cool to put that in there. But try not to put either, don't put too much pressure on it either. Because when you do that, you will resist it. And then, this thing might just gather dust for you. Anyways, happy journaling.